Welcome to another episode of Chakras and Shit, a playful look at spirituality. I spell chakras with an S. It's just marketing. I am super excited about this week's show. Tatiana and I met in Victoria, British Columbia in January, I want to say. I think so. Maybe February. Earlier this year. Whatever. At a conscious meetup group. And I just was mesmerized by her energy, her style, the way she just sort of flowed into the room, and you're just connected to a little bit of everything. And today, Tatiana, I'm just going to let you go. This is your show. This is your hour. So when I asked you for a little biography to write about the show, you just said, I have several biography types. It depends on my mood. So what does your biography say today? And let's get right into this.
Oh my gosh, my biography. Oh, you just try to make it short. Well, I'm originally from Colombia, South America. Well, currently I live in Canada. I've traveled a lot all around the world, lived in different countries, but that's like not very important right now. I studied my background was mostly in dance, like 40 years of dance in all kinds of modalities, but I was more into jazz, musical theater, bling bling, that was me for many years. However, I've always had this artistic talents that you just are born with. So I was what I call a visual artist since birth. You just don't learn how to be an artist, you kind of are it. So that was me. And since a very young age, I would just draw, paint. I had a very vivid imagination. And then I began, of course, learning the craft of dance. So that was an intense training of really understanding how everything in the body just functions, the physical body. I can say for sure that not only I have a master's degree in dance, I actually do.
Okay.
But it's I think that master's degree doesn't come from, oh, the university has certified you. No, it comes from, holy moly, I just learned I can so deeply focus on how everything works within just because of years and years and years and years and years of just doing it, and so visual artist. And so that was my background, let's say, growing up, and always connected to the arts, also to music. I would just write music as well, sing, and then that's how I ended up in musical theater. And then recently, it was this shift that's been going on, but now this year is radical. I've always been interested in the occult, but things like astrology was always a thing for me. When I was 15, I used to read tarot cards to my friends at school. I didn't even know why. I just kind of pulled a book, made a little deck, and started reading tarot.
Great.
Just randomly. Yeah, when I was 15, I was the kind of kid who would ask. When I was 17, I remember I asked my mom I wanted to go into meditation classes. Well, everybody else is partying and having fun and drinking. There's me, Mom, can I go to meditation class? Whatever that meant. I was reading the astral body and things like that when I was 15. And that's not what a kid usually reads, but that was me. And so I was always connected to all this information. And for me, it was well, that's who I am. And so later on, of course, now it kind of came back, astrology, for instance. I never really understood how it worked. I just knew it was something cool. And I got a birth chart done by my mom when I was, she had it done by an astrologer when I was 4. And a lot of information there was wow, spot freaking on. So much so that one of the information there was, one day you will use astrology and make a lot of money. But I was, I'm a dancer, I'm a performer. I don't see where this fits in my life, but I kind of let that go. And then suddenly it started to take over without me even having to put any effort into it. I started watching YouTube things and understanding oh my gosh, this is actually something that's helping me understand who I am. It's not even about predicting anything, because astrology is not about predicting. It's about understanding who you are, and then you create from there. You don't predict what's going to happen. You create what's going to happen when you know. If you don't know, you create on automatic pilot. You just create by your subconscious whateverness. But when you know, you start going, wait a minute, I came to this lifetime for this. There's all these things that I'm working on. These are the challenges. These are the potentials. How can I use this energy to have the highest potential? So this is how I got into astrology, to know myself, to understand. And when I started understanding, wow, that's really who I am, and started understanding, well, this is what I should be doing, then I was not resisting anymore the path. Because for a while, I was like, I want to do the musical theater bling bling thing. And it was just not working. And I was like, why? Then you start looking at the star alignments, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I'm trying to push, but almost my soul is saying no. And the astrology was a tool to help, like, it's all these beings, the planets are like beings that are saying, we're all in this together. It's all orchestrated. You just need to follow the plan and go along, enjoy the ride, and do it. So I began doing astrology, learning astrology. I started taking courses in astrology, getting different kinds of certifications that I'm still like, it's you open the rabbit hole. Once you go and you open, that's it. You're in for the ride. Course in evolutionary astrology. There's many types of astrology, and then I did a course. I'm taking right now a course in archetypal astrology with a fabulous teacher that lives here in Victoria, Ren Butler. And because the archetypal astrology helps more with like understanding the psyche, and to help people precisely move through their blockages, understand who they are and move on. So this kind of put me in that path. And now with all that I do, the visual arts, the music, the dance, now the astrology, it all kind of is starting to become this like boom thing. And now, like I say, it's not like, who am I? I don't know. I know I'm still like just allowing myself to be what I came here to do. And right this moment, my mission and my path is linked to that process of healing that's going on right now in the planet. So I would call myself not a healer. We'll discuss that a little bit. I'll call myself almost like a guide, someone like, hey, I'm a support guide. That's what I am, because I would not claim myself to be a healer, just because I believe there's a lot of misunderstanding with the word healing. Like, a lot of people think I'm going to go to a healer that has this kind of magic potion or can work with their hands and move energy, which is true. We all can do it. So can you. You could do it. You can heal yourself, But expecting, because the person can move the energy and shift stuff. Oh, ding, magic, done. I am out, and I'm like, I'm healed. Jesus healed me. It's like, well, a little bit more complicated than that. It's like, if you yourself have not completely gone within yourself to go and do that process yourself from the root, then it's like Band-Aids, It's like going to somebody that's giving you some kind of energetic, and they're great. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that it's superficial. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I wouldn't say, oh, I'm going to heal you. I can't heal you. No one can. Not even a healer. No one can really heal. What happens is we are all supporters of a process. We give you tools, we give you aid, energetic aid or whatever, but each person does their own part of the work or their own part, and you have to take it into your own hands. And for me, healing, the art of healing, is more the art of coming into balance and understanding balance. That's what it is. It's not fixing something that's broken. Nothing is ever broken. We are perfect, divine light beings. We're not broken. There's nothing to fix. It's more, can I understand that I have gone out of balance and I need to go back to homeostasis, which is the art of getting back to balance. When I understand that and I take this as a practice, like what I was saying earlier. Like if you don't shower, you wake up, you just shower, you're dirty, you shower, and then you clean. It's the same thing. It's like showering your energetic body. Showering is like, it's like taking care of that. But a lot of people are more focused on like how you look outside. But what about all the inside, all the psyche, all that world? That is the subconscious. We have the iceberg, the tip of the
Yeah.
iceberg we see, but then there's all this stuff that it's not only personal, it's also collective, because we're not an isolated iceberg, we're a collective thing. So everything everybody does affects everything else, affects the grid through this consciousness. So it's not like, oh, I'm just going to do this, whatever. It's like, no, everything you do, including healing yourself and being in balance, affects everything else. So this is why I feel like my path now, my biography of, I was a dancer, I was in musical theater, I, had a big career as teacher, master's degree in this, master's degree in that. I have a master's degree in languages as well. So it's like, I accumulated all this, like master this, master that. But in reality, what am I here for? I'm here to serve and help the planet. And I understood that through astrology. So no, I'm here for that. So that's my biography with a little bit of
Whew, I need a shower.
shower.
Tatiana, that was awesome. I have so many ways to take that, but thank you. Thank you for your gifts, and thank you for being a support guide. Your energy is incredible. And thinking about this healing journey that we're on, understanding our archetypes and how we're connected to astrology. One thing you said to me is you really want to talk about how our own personal spirituality, how it connects with astrology, and how it can help you know oneself.
Ooh, that's phenomenal. So,
All you.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, we are like, astrology is an ancient form, and like even the Babylonians began, the study of the stars to see what the cycles would bring every time. So it's the study of cycles. In basic layman terms, is the study of cycles. So if you see there's a cycle of evolution and something comes, and the energy there's always this kind of breeding ground for something to get created. So from that perspective, astrology just gives you like a terrain, a turf. And if you see it, when you're born, there's the stars are all in a certain position, and they go clink. It's like taking a picture. Okay, you are born. Now here's your map. Good luck. It's your GPS. When you have it, you're like, oh, this is what I came with. These are my gifts, because the stars are also co-creating with us. And I'll go into that a little bit, like why that's important. Because then you have your map, and you can go through life like without the map, and you'll go through it anyway, because the cycles, the planets will keep moving, the energy will keep pouring in. You are connected to the energy of everything. You'll just be moved by it, and then you'll just boom, 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 boom through life, And if you're lucky, you'll go into the good aspects, and you'll just go through the lower octaves, the lower expression of the energy.
Yeah.
Meaning, in dualistic terms, it just means that the expression is less pleasant, let's say,
Sure.
We have a lower octave and a higher octave, like on the same scale. Like if you say doon, 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 right? It's the same scale, same energy, different wavelength of expression.
Less in balance, right? Less in balance multidimensionally anyway.
Yeah, and what you want is to consciously choose what frequency you want to express your energy through. Mm-hmm. So when you're born, you have all these energetic imprint that you are, and that's why every human being is absolutely unique, like a fingerprint. Mm. So we cannot pretend to change another human being, because we're all different. And we have different missions, different everything. So there's no one right way it's not one cookie cutter thing. No, it's a, who are you and how you contribute to the whole with your uniqueness. And astrology gives you this map telling you you're this, what are you going to do with it? So when you know the map, you go into life with an avatar. So you choose your little avatar, like your costume. That's the rising sign. It's your costume.
Okay.
Go into a playground with like a video game, and you see how in video games you have these like worlds with different landscapes. But you see the landscape, so you can go, do I go up, down? Oh, there's a fall there. Oh, I should probably avoid the fall. And that's your astrology map. It's like, oh, I know there's pitfalls. I know there's a mountain to climb. That's going to be hard, but I'll just, I have to grab these little gifts here. And then in the next level, I'll be using them. You know how in a video game that kind of works like that? It's kind of similar. We go through a life where we chose this avatar, we chose a playing field, and we play it out just for the experience of it. The soul wants to experience something. That's the reason for it. It's like just experience. The source experiencing itself through, and so you go into your playing field. When you don't have the map, well, you cannot see the mountain, or you just, your eyes closed, so you just be going around, like it can get messy. And when you have an understanding that you chose this video game because it's exciting and you want to play it and you can choose how to play it, oh my gosh, it just changes the whole thing. So, so this is how astrology functions. It's the cycles of nature, cycles of the planets, and every time there's certain alignments, usually something plays out similarly. So the ancients kind of knew it and began paying attention to, wow, every time these stars are here, things like this happen. And every time, and it got more accurate and accurate with, the thousands of years that have passed, right? It's not like it was, invented yesterday.
Sure.
It's a human thing, but it's how the human would connect to this ancient knowledge. And now, how does this work? Now we're going to talk consciousness. Everything is a consciousness. So a planet is not just a ball of rock or of gas burning. Maybe in the physical world, the way we see it, yes. But at a consciousness level, planets are consciousnesses like us. They're just much bigger consciousnesses. So they're not speaking like, hello, how are you? Hey, how are you? They speak through the language of frequency and energy.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Brent.
Oh, what's going on?
I say, hello, Brent. I am suffering. Lots of things in my ocean. I'm hurt. Mm-hmm. That's Gaia speaking.
Nice to meet you, Gaia.
So, our Earth, like the sun, like the moon, like everything else, every single celestial body, stars and beyond, are consciousnesses. And these consciousnesses participate in the dance of creation, of co-creation of experience. So when these cycles occur, then you see the planets themselves are having conversations, literally. Like if Saturn, let's say, and each planet has their own like field to it, like energy and vibration, like archetypal field. And Saturn is this like, is the father archetype. It's like, whoosh, you have to do this. Nope, you're not going out to play, kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, that's Saturn. So let's say Saturn's here and then Mars is here. And Mars is like the warrior, like, attack, let's go, kind of fiery and passionate and like, whoa, and when they're creating certain mathematical aspects, and they lock into conversation. And sometimes the conversation is very nice. And it's like, so how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Could we just, let's create this. And sometimes it's like, F you. Like, no, I'm having it my way. I'm having it my way. And they're having their own conversation out there, let's say, energetically. And we are all part of that collective consciousness. So we are being affected by that conversation.
Okay. Because you said Saturn was squaring Mars today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay.
Today, but exact yesterday. Yeah. And like, that's a very interesting feel, because if people might be feeling it differently, because depending on your map, you feel energy differently. That's why you cannot go to the magazine and read, oh, my horoscope says this. Like, no, that doesn't work. So please don't ever just read horoscopes. Doesn't work. You cannot just read a horoscope so general for everybody. No, you're unique. You have a unique fingerprint, and the transits of planets affect every human being differently. But at a collective level, so you want to know how Mars and squaring Saturn feels? The feeling of it?
Yes.
Feeling. So this is how it feels. Saturn is there, like big and straight and slow. Then there's Mars, like all excited, running, and there's Saturn putting the hand here, like, okay, you can run, and Mars is there, like, and Saturn is like putting the hand here, and he's like, Mars is running, and Saturn's like, okay, you done rushing? And Mars is like, no, I want to get there now. I want to do it now. It's like this, and Saturn's like, okay, if you don't do this like properly, take the time, it's not gonna work. The new systems we're putting in place need to be well thought out, Mars. So don't rush into it. That's like the square. So a lot of people might be feeling restless, especially if you're like an Aries, a Libra, Capricorn, or a Cancer.
Okay.
Of some kind, that you might be feeling like this kind of restlessness and the need to, but I got all these ideas, I gotta do it now, but there's this kind of discomfort, and then somehow maybe the government or whatever the structures, again, the father is, they don't let me do it, but I want to do it. So there's this feeling. It might be because you feel oppression from the government and you cannot do something that you want to do. It could be that you feel yourself that you have a project or something and you want to get it going, but somehow it kind of, you have to get to work and do it and roll up your sleeves, but somehow something doesn't add up. So you want to do it, and you want to get it now done, but somehow it's just not flowing. And so that's that energy. And again, those are transits. And when we understand that the astrology works as waves in an ocean, and you can either ride the wave with your nice surfboard, or just, you're still in the ocean and you can go against it, and then you'll be like, and that's fine, because there's no right or wrong. It's just like, what do you choose to do with the energy of the moment, with your own energy? And when you know yourself, you know your energy, you know your aspects, you know everything, you're like, oh yeah, I should be probably focusing on this right now instead of trying to go against the grain and like dunk, dunk, dunk. Then you consciously make a choice. And in the same manner, like I said, the energy is neutral. It can go in one octave or the other octave. So if I were to take the energy of Saturn square Mars, or whatever energy, whatever, or anything, or let's say the sun in Virgo, like me, yay. It could go, the energy could express in its positive side. So it's like, take a little ball, and then imagine there's like 1,000 little tubes that it can go through to express. So the highest expression is service, is efficiency, is improving things, is that would be like the best use of that energy. The lower would be like criticism, judgmental, overly obsessed with details. And, that's like, so it can express both ways, but you get to choose when you know. When you don't know, it kind of just expresses anyway. And this is why it's so important to understand that energy is still happening. Even if you don't believe in it, it's still happening, because we're not isolated consciousness. We are co-creating with a whole bunch of other beings from other dimensions, from other galactic places, from other and we think like, I am this human, I'm so cool, I've got it all. Like, no, you're part of this big thing and you're a co-creator. Like, so get over your ego.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Tatiana, that is incredible. And I'm thinking back now, personally, 2 weeks ago, I had a lethargic, I was off. I just couldn't get started. last week I had an incredible week. I met some amazing people, had some amazing experiences. It was 2 totally different weeks. And you said that the moon is in Pisces.
Right now,
I'm a Pisces. I think you said that in your, is the moon in Pisces?
now the moon moves really fast. There's no.
Okay. Whether it is or not, I'm a Pisces.
Yeah. Mhm.
So how can I check, or how can I look back to 2 weeks ago and see what was going on for Pisces? And the next week things were going so well and that momentum's carrying on. How can I check that? Or can I go back on, what do I do? How do I find out what was going on?
Well, if you can always track transits, but that's more advanced. You can contact an astrologer, of course,
Okay.
to help you
Okay.
and help you see like, oh, you know, this was going on, and the astrologer will tell you, look, in your chart, this is what's happening right now. The planets are activating this in your chart, because it gets like activated. You know, when the planets are moving in real time, your birth chart is here, and once they make some kinds of aspects to your natal, it goes like zoop, and it activates something for you to like, oh, that's my cue that I am doing this. And again, it's all for evolution and experience. We're evolving and experiencing. So cue now is for you to, and then you choose. So for example, when you're in tune with these energies, that means you're in tune with yourself and you're in tune with the cosmos. When you're in tune, and you know, for example, if you don't know, you were in tune, but you're like, oh, I can't explain why I had this horrible relationship or this horrible thing that happened. It's not horrible. Nothing is horrible. I mean, it feels horrible, but when you understand where it comes from, you go, oh, okay, how can I embrace this and take that, like leverage it for the, yes, sometimes there's very hard transits, and right now on the planet, and for already like since the beginning of 2020, but this began prior, because the very far planets, Pluto and those planets, Pluto is a planet of exposure, transformation, is the butterfly effect. It's like caterpillar to butterfly. It goes through a process of metamorphosis, complete destruction in order to get the wings. So right now we're having in the planet what's called a really hard Pluto transit. This doesn't happen like, oh, it's every 5 years. No, things that happen every like 500 years. Like, you know, it's not little. These cycles are macro cycles. We're going in the planet right now through a huge cycle change of 26,000 years. And then another micro cycle of 13,000. And then micro cycles like this is cycles within cycles within cycles. Right now, the planet is going through a convergence point of these. A bunch of cycles are converging right now. And guess what? We're here on the planet, like getting front seat view of what's happening. Not only are we witnessing the cycle, we are part of this exciting transition. 26,000 years and we get to be here. Yay! Why does my life suck so much? Okay, because in order to get the new, we need to destroy the old. Destruction is not a bad thing. It's understanding the process of metamorphosis for something new to be born. It's like the spiral of evolution. Once you go through a cycle, the next cycle is a spiral, and the next cycle is a spiral. We're always finding better ways to express what we already did. So, and this convergence is really important. We're going through this Pluto transit at this moment in the planet, which is extremely hard. It's Pluto and Saturn together. So imagine Pluto, the god of the underworld, Hades, and Saturn, the structure, the government. And it's like we're just dismantling the old ways of doing things. It's not sustainable the way we've done a hierarchical pyramid of people up here and others dying down here, or poor versus rich and all of that. That's going down like this, crumbling, whether we want it or not. And it's interesting to see how that exact conjunction at the beginning of 2020, and then we started seeing this, and how is this happening? Boom, then COVID shows up. And suddenly everything starts, the ground starts shaking. Was it planned? Who knows? It doesn't matter. But what consciousness brought forth is that that's what's happening. It's crumbling the old way of doing things, and new way is coming. It's Aquarius, and people that have understanding of these cycles are okay with the process. Like, it's a process. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it can be seen as horrible. But when you understand that it's part of the transformation, like the butterfly, it's not complaining when it's in the cocoon. It's getting destroyed, but once it gets its wings, it's like, wow, now I see. So we are all going through this psychological, psychic, like bringing up all the, from everything's being brought up. We're getting triggered, anger. So everything that's like dark and dirty, it's coming up. It's being exposed, because when you expose things and there's light and you see them, it clears. That's part of the mechanics of energy. Things that are brought up to the conscious, things that are brought up to light, once they're seen, they can be dissolved. And that's what we're doing at a macro level. At a micro level, it's like you said, oh, I was feeling like this last week and I don't know what's going on. Okay, at your micro level, if you understand, oh, maybe right now I should be resting because my body is telling me, oh, it's off. Instead of like society tells you, go to work, Brent, like 9 to 5, clock in, clock out, right? And maybe your body and your energy is saying, but I just feel like I need to sleep and rest a little bit. And maybe, ooh. And that's the thing, we're not honoring the cycles of nature and the grander cycles. We're just kind of go, go, go. The man has said go, go, go. And when do we take responsibility for what we're feeling, what we're going through? And with an understanding, astrology helps you understand it. Do you absolutely need it? Maybe not. But if you want a better understanding, in order to also get more solace in your being, because then you can understand, oh, now I see why I went through this very hard thing, or why these things are presenting in my hologram. My reality is presenting this to me because something is moving. That's even, it's not just my mental, I want a big house, I want a big house, like kind of like, it's like there's something bigger that's at play, so these energies that are bigger kind of play out, reflect back to you in reality, and then you get to choose, oh, why am I projecting this into my reality? What's going on? So when you are more aware of yourself, more aware of who you are, more aware even of these transits, more aware of everything, you can make choices. It's all about choice. It's always been about free will. So anything can go either way. We could have an earth that we just mess up, it gets destroyed, and next, that could happen. But we are part of that co-creation, and we can make choices. What is best for me? What is best for others? What is best for the earth? What is best, How do I want to experience life? How do I want to experience earth? Do I want to be in pain and suffering and just blaming everything outside? Or am I taking responsibility for what's inside? And from inside out, create the reality. You see, it's that way of understanding life. Reality is not just out there. It kind of is, because it is a co-creation, but I have a say in it. Like you have a say in it. And hopefully we will have a deeper understanding of this awareness, this self-awareness to co-create. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. That's the best description I've heard so far of our connectedness, from root chakras and Gaia right through to the cosmos. That was beautiful. And you brought it back to a practical level. You brought it back to the fact that as humans, we have choice. Mm-hmm. How far down that rabbit hole do you want to go? Do you want to ignore the fact that there's even a rabbit hole? And that works for you? Great.
And that's fine. That's the reality you're going to be experiencing. But that's also going to affect the field of consciousness. Mm-hmm. You mentioned like from the chakras, from the lower chakras to the higher chakras. Yes, the lower chakras are body design with the chakra system and stuff. Chakras are, just these vortices of energy. Yeah, there you go. And it's funny because you see, this is beautiful. Chakras are not like little drawings or wheels. They're actually toroidal fields. Do you know what a toroidal field is?
Toroidal? No, I don't.
Oh, well, so a toroidal field, I could just screen share something if I found one.
Get in there.
Oh, let me see. But I'm not prepared. So a toroid, let's see, toroidal field, toroid.
How do you spell toroid?
Toroid. Toroid and chakra. Just complete toroid chakra.
Chakras is spelled with a C, by the way, Tatiana.
Yeah, I know that, but I know with. So this is, I'm just trying to find, okay, this is the best image I could, okay. All right, so I'm gonna just share this with the Zoom. Ding, ding, ding. Screen share. Host disabled attendee screen share. You disabled me.
I did not disable you. That was Pluto. Pluto is pissed off because we took him out of the planets about 10 years ago. We said, Pluto, you're no longer a planet. Pluto came back and said, that's it. The great Pluto purge of 2020 is happening.
Yeah. No, I don't disable it. It's like, no, no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
So,
I will attempt to allow this.
I attempt. So while you attempt this, I'm going to keep explaining what it is. A toroid is just the way the energy flows in. It flows out like a vortex, like a cone, you know, and then like a coil, like a Tesla coil, like a coil. You know, you have a coil and it creates a magnetic field. That's how it works. It creates this like out energy. It goes back in and it creates this flow, like whoop, whoop. So if you, that's why we want the little drawing. If you see it from the front, it looks like a ball of energy, but actually it's just the energy flowing. If you think of the magnetic field of the Earth, it goes like this, or any magnetic field goes like in, out, and it creates this flow of energy or of, you know. And if you were to turn it like this and see it in a cross section, you would see a wheel, because the energy is like turning like a vortex. So that's why when we represent the chakras, they're represented that a chakra means wheel. They're represented at these wheels. So you see this, the chakras are these circles, but actually what they are is these circles of energy that are like these toroidal fields that are just moving, each one at a certain frequency. That's why they have colors, because there's a frequency level that they're tuned at. And the thing is, like, when your chakras are not like well tuned, because there's different frequencies from everywhere, even from Wi-Fi, from whatever, there's a lot of you know, the system gets so wonky. Okay, so this is the
which one do you want?
I like the third one that says you. No, the third one.
Third down?
Or this one that says Arthur Kilmore, your left.
This one? Okay. Boom.
Yeah, just to see, so you see how if you
oops.
Oh, well, you don't need to go into the, I just want the image.
Okay, that image.
Of the heart. It's beautiful, because if you're not aware of this information, it's out there. I'm just giving you an entrance point to it, but dude, you can just type it, Google it, it's there. So you see how there's this like cone. Oh, there's even a little video down there of the spinning, energy. So something like that. So you see, when you see this energy spinning, if you were to turn that ball like this, then you would see a wheel. It would be spinning like this. That's what you would see. That's why we say that chakras spin. You see, this is, so a chakra more or less looks like that. Go down a little bit down. Here's an down again. This one too. You see, this one's very clear. It kind of looks like that, like a donut, And the middle point of that donut, in every single thing on consciousness, that point is the 0 point field, that little point on the donut where the energy has converged into nothing, and everything is composed of these energy fields, flowing energy fields, just moving. So, and the energy, like, what is it? Can you touch it? Can you see it? No, it's like this vibration, So if you have not watched some quantum physics, I urge you to go and watch some quantum physics and check out the double slit experiment and other things to understand the functioning of the mechanics of consciousness. It has a mechanics, it's a design. And the thing is, like, right now we're entering into an age where even science is being able to explain that mechanics. And I was telling you that there's this really cool documentary called Superhuman, which has a lot of scientific experiments showing certain of these things about, like, oh, how the field's connected. And if you know about the Higgs field and all these new discoveries in science, like, if you're not aware of it, Google. That's why we have Google. So that's the reason why Google exists. So basically, when you have the system of chakras, of energy flowing correctly in its right frequency, attuned, then everything you asked me about how you channel. Well, that's how it is. You connect. The lower chakras are also connected to the fields of the planet Earth. We're connected through that frequency to the planet, to Gaia. Through higher, every chakra connects to different fields of dimension, let's say, because they're in different frequencies. So that's why people that like, oh, I saw the angels and the this and the that, yeah, they're connecting with a certain frequency, like in the higher chakras. These are connected directly. So we have all these connections to all dimensional fields simultaneously. It's not that you can't access them. You can access any of the dimensional fields. You can be very grounded when you're focusing your energy on the fruit chakra. If you're on the second chakra and you're more like connected to fields of creativity, and that's why the womb is there. There's a reason for every single thing to be where it is. It's a machine. So when you understand that what's most important is to have this system in balance. You need the system to be functioning properly. And usually, like, emotions will tend to throw the system out of balance. So when you go from a visceral reaction of an unbalanced first, like, root chakra, and it's interesting because on certain dimensional fields, it is said that planets are also connected through different chakras. So you can connect. There's a lot out there that's not very clear, so I cannot say this is like, I know for sure that Mars is connected to my root, but because there's a lot of theory, this is not necessarily like, however, a lot of people have channeled, again, information of how certain planets are more connected to certain chakras. So you're also co-creating with the planets through your chakra system, right? Through different dimensional fields. And so when we understand the functioning of each chakra, and again, there's a lot of information that's still very vague. We have a lot of information from the ancients that is coming back, people remembering, people channeling. So what I recommend is that you see a lot of different perspectives and try to make a compilation of, like, oh, okay, out of 1,000 websites, I don't know, 800 say this and then 200 that, and like, okay, maybe that's more, again, it's like information it can come from many filters. That's what I'm saying. So every person is a filter of that. That's when everybody that channels is a filter. So you might be channeling or filtering through your own lens, and if you have something in your energy field that's connected to other things, it might filter through that. So that's why it's important to not go with whatever everyone says just because. Always check with yourself if the information you're receiving resonates. And when you hear that word a lot, like, oh, if that resonates. Well, resonance is literally when two waves go and meet at the same. That's why when it resonates, it means ding, ding, yes, this feels accurate, because every human being and every person is vibrating at a certain level. You can choose to vibrate You can choose your own vibrations. When you're having an emotion and you pay attention, for example, if you go into anger and you pay attention, not to just the, I'm angry, but how it feels, you can almost describe the energy. You would be able to say it's fast, it's quick moving, it's explosive, it goes fast out, If you're feeling sad or if you're feeling anxious, you could describe that energy. If you feel happy and at peace, you could describe it. You could give it words. And those words and those descriptives literally are affecting also your state. So what I'm saying here, not to get lost in the thread, is that when you're aware of your energy system, of how you're emitting those frequencies, your emotions are literally putting energy in motion. We hear that a lot. And it moves in different ways and waves. So you can almost choose the way and wave at which you want to emit. And the heart, for instance, the heart chakra emits a certain frequency. And when it's balanced and tuned at its perfect frequency, it's called, by the Heart Math Institute, they coined a word called coherence, which is when you're in that feeling of gratitude and compassion and unconditional love. They call it coherence because there's a sine wave that is absolutely perfect. It's not like a jagged. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lady that came here to my house to host a workshop, she worked for the Heart Math Institute, Dana Tomasino, and she literally, I got plugged into the machine. Then I went into coherence, and then you could see the wave change. It was like, oh my gosh, okay, it's a thing, That's when we're starting to bridge science and the actual knowledge of the ancients. So when we talk about the heart and why the energy that the heart emits has that, why do we say we love through the heart? Oh, I love you. And we touch the heart because that's the energy that gets emitted through the heart. And when we are in balance and in that coherence, the feeling or emotion is compassion, gratitude, and a deep unconditional love. And the feeling of unconditional love, it's such a word, it's unconditional. No, what it means is like you are love with everything. So there's no separation. There's not like, oh, I love you, Brent, because you are out there. It's like, I am love. And when you say I am love, I'm loving you at the same time. So there's no separation. There's just this sense of unity with all that is. So the more we come into that heart energy and emit that frequency, that means the heart chakra is in its optimum balance point. And so on and so forth. Each chakra has different functions, and when we start more and more understanding the system, knowing what the system can do and how each chakra is also wired to a gland, to a part of the body, chakras move the energy through different parts of the body as well. So everything is related. The third dimensional matter is related to all those other fields of energy. And when we kind of get them all in alignment, that's why we talk about balance and alignment. When you get that in alignment, then we're running the machine like awesome. We have a car that's
Okay.
Platform. Yeah.
I would like to offer, thank you for that. And on all of those notes, I'd like to offer myself up as a subject. And I'm going to challenge you to do the same. Mm-hmm. I want to try this. I want to be in alignment for all of October. I want to plan when I'm going to be angry, when I'm going to be creative, when I'm going to be lazy, when I'm going to work hard, when I'm going to whatever. I want to, let's do this. I want to do this. So two things are coming to mind right off the bat. One, did you get a chance to see Verina's energy clearing session, episode 3, part 2?
I was kind of busy.
No problem. So my challenge to you is spend an hour, do Verina's energy clearing. Okay. And if you do that, I want to hear your results to what that was. Cause a lot of it was around heart chakra energy.
Yeah. Exactly.
You up for it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. 1 hour on your own time. Beautiful. Second, I'm jumping in. I'm a 2 feet in guy. This is what I do. I jump in. Let's see what happens. So my archetype on my human design, I was born Thursday. No, sorry, I was born February 24th, 1977.
Hold on.
On a Thursday.
You know your birth time.
I know my birth time was very early in the morning.
So can you say that again?
My archetype is manifestor solar plexus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't work much with human design.
Okay.
Give you your birth time again. What is it?
Oh, my mom's gonna have to help me out with this one. Just after midnight, early on the 24th.
Of what? 24th?
I have my baby books here somewhere. We'll get to that. I'll get that when I have the real information. We can take that offline.
Definitely, because
okay.
Look up from the astrological perspective, which human design is pretty cool too, because it takes into consideration the astrological with the I Ching, and like it has different, it also merges other modalities and creates a different model of understanding yourself. So again, you see there's many tools. There's not one tool that is necessarily better than another tool. There's just tools. So whatever tools you resonate with, that's the tool you go with. Like for example, you said Verena did a clearing. Cool, that's a tool. I work with the movement, sound, and visual tool. That's my tool. So when people are gonna come and learn what I have to offer, I'll show them and teach them how to balance their energy and their chakra system and all of that by using a movement, visual, and sound tool. That's my tool. And other people will say yoga, it's a tool, but the whole point is to use the tools consciously, because a lot of people use a hammer to, I don't know, knock on a cell phone.
Sure.
Well, you have the tool, but do you know how to use it? So this is why, instead of like, I'm going to go to the next fad of things, like, it's like, well, if I'm giving you a tool, it's for you to understand that there's a conscious process of using this tool.
Okay.
It can be very simple, like the heart energy is one of the simplest tools, is going into coherence. It's just breathe, evoke gratitude and compassion, focus on the area of the heart, and just breathe like that. That's super simple tool, 3 minutes a day.
Okay. So this is exactly what I want to do. Is it worthwhile if I get my birth time right now? Would you be able to work with me at this moment? Because I can run and grab my baby book if you want to take over the show for 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, for sure. I could, and then I could very briefly give you 3 pointers, because okay. Astrology reading would be at least I mean, it's lifetime long. Like I can give you an astrology reading in an hour or 2, but then there's layers and layers and layers depending on.
So let me set this up for you in totality. So here's what I'm thinking. I want to get my exact picture, my snapshot of the stars and where they're at the moment that I was born. So I'll run and grab my baby book. Yeah. And then there's 2 full moons and a new moon in October.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I've got some things changing in my life and excitement and lots of things on the go. So what I want to try and do is consciously be in alignment with astrology in general and see what to expect and work with each day's energy as it comes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So I want to just try this for a month and see how I feel, see what I accomplish, see what blocks I have, see when I get stuck. Are you up for kind of leading me through that process? What it would look like? And then I'm thinking about the viewer. So other people that are seeing this right now, can you tell them while I'm running grab my book what they can do the same way so that they can be more in alignment with okay?
October. Okay, so people.
Okay, I'll leave you there. Thank you.
Awesome. So people, if you are October is a very challenging month astrologically. There's a lot going on. There's again this Saturn squaring Mars. Mars is in retrograde, which means it's not moving backwards, but the energy feels more like inwards. There's a lot of things happening in the sky right now. I don't have the snapshot of everything right now in my head of how the sky is. I would have to just look it up. But what October really is about reel it in. You're ready to make changes. This is like the month to observe in your life, what really the structures that you have put in place that have like run their course. So basically, if you're in a job that you do not like because you're afraid like, oh, but this is the way we make money and that's it, then give yourself a chance to open up to perspectives and new possibilities, and they will appear. And so this is the month to really, there may be a lot of anger coming up and a lot of discontent with how authorities or all the authorities in your life, not even just you as a, like it could be the authorities that you're under, it could be a boss, it could be yourself, like, but it's that thing, like if you're doing things this month that don't feel that they come from your true desire of who you are and who you're trying to become, because we do have Neptune in Pisces, we have a lot of spiritual energy coming in to say, this month, please align with your true highest purpose, but don't rush into just doing something because things might really look different in 3 months. And you might be like, so don't set anything in stone. This is the time to what I call get your ducks in line first. It's like you're going to bake a cake. You're going to put all those ingredients here. This 3 months, that's what we should be doing. Putting all the ingredients, making sure we're not going to add like, I don't know, a horrible ingredient to our cake. This is why we're also looking at, I don't think this ingredient, I need this anymore. So getting rid of relationships, jobs, ways of thinking or doing that really are not supporting a new way of being in more happiness and more connected to what you truly want to do. This is the time. It's going to be squeezing. The energy is there to squeeze that out of you. So for example, if something with a boss gets like nasty, observe it. Why am I doing this? Do I really want to be here? Maybe I should start taking measures of action to change that. And trust, Neptune in Pisces, trust the universe, trust that something's better coming, but I need to choose for that. Because the danger here with this month is because of being fearful that we lock ourselves into going back to doing things the way they've always been done. Like, this is how I make money, this is how things are, this is how it works. This is a time where it's going to be like squeezing you in different ways. Brent, it depends. Of course, I cannot just map transits so fast like that. You can give me the birth chart, but definitely people that have a lot of Aries energy, and that could be sun, moon, or rising in Aries, Libra, Capricorn, or Cancer, you might be feeling this time of your life as but the cool thing about challenges, when you have a challenge, it means that you're gonna go, like, you can choose, you can say, okay, I see you. People having like Virgo, for instance, we're having more of an easy energy with like, let's get to work. There's like a, yes, I know there's something happening, and it's different for everyone. So my advice to you this month is reel the energy in. Do not try to put a square peg into a round hole. This is not the time to push. Okay, if you're getting ideas, okay, get your ingredients ready. Get your ducks in line. Organize your finances. Or this is the time also to organize your finances. Organize how your life is structured again. And see if the current structure is serving you or not. If it's not serving you, begin opening up and literally going, okay, what would be the next thing? So if you don't know, because this is a very also uncertain time, things are like this. And these 3 months are like, oh my God, astrologically, like, oh, holy F, right? This is why these 3 months are not the months to go angry. I mean, and there can be a lot of frustration and anger happening in these months. Again, like what happened back in March with the COVID. It could be COVID related, or it could be something else related. There's going to be a lot of that coming up for many people. So the choice that I would urge you to make is to take the best energy of Mars and Aries, which is courage. It's defending those who, the underdog, courage, It's the warrior, but it's a warrior with a good cause, not the warrior mercenary. So you see, that's two different energies. So take that energy into, what am I gonna be fighting for? That it's of a higher nature, that it's for love, that is for a betterment of society. That's how you want to use the energy of this month. So if you get frustrated and triggered because whatever, wear a mask, do this, do that, it doesn't matter. Or your boss like has you like working extra or whatever, instead of like, I hate everything, because those emotions are not going to be helpful. So it's like, okay, this feels like that. Allow that emotion to be, but see it. And after seeing it, go to your heart, do your little heart centering meditation, 3 minutes of breath and gratitude for what you do have in your life. Like, oh my gosh, I woke up and I have hands. Wow. My goodness, do we even think about these little things? Like, wow, I woke up this morning and I had food. Wow. So this is what I urge you to do right now in this month that might be very complex, is to really focus your energy on what you do have, the potential that you have, and your dreams. So if you're having like, and I don't mean like dreams as in dream state, that too, but if you had things that you've always kind of wanted to accomplish that are very dear to you, that really excite you, focus the energy there, because this is how you're going to slowly build them. Do not try to find out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Because it's not going to help, because the energy is going to shift like radically. You're going to feel the difference between today to like October, November, and December was like, and once it hits January, February, like you're gonna see the energy is gonna shift radically. So even if you're trying to set something in stone now, that might not be the time. This is the time to get rid of the old structures. This is last call. And start seeing those new things that are already coming into your mind, those ideas, get them kind of, get your ducks in line, and then see how that will work on, like, as of like December, January, like by January, then start implementing. But this is a time to kind of get grounded, get real with what's going on. And yeah, so for Brent, let's see very quickly. Open you.
Hi. Well done. I missed about 3 minutes of that. I can't wait to rewind it and have a listen.
Where were you born? Where?
Okay, I was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah. What date?
February 24,
1977. Okay, 1977. Yeah. At what time?
12:45 a.m.
45 a.m. Okay. So I'm not gonna do like a full reading.
No.
We'll do it offline, but let me see. Where is it? I lost it. Here. So you are, ooh, my goodness. There's juicy meat here.
Okay.
Definitely. So your sun is in Pisces. So you are definitely you are the compassionate communicator.
Wow.
That's your soul. I'm just looking very briefly. You're the compassionate communicator. That's who you are, the true soul, the compassionate communicator. Oh my God, you're bang on your job, on what you're doing right now, because you're the compassionate communicator that can transcend, that goes into transcendence. You have the deep need for slow and steady, deep need for a deep sense of security and emotional security. That's your Taurus. Wow. Especially when it comes to having a sense of purpose in your daily life. And it's like a slow and steady process. That's how you feel. If you have something that's way too crazy or too intense, and you would get out of sorts. That's your moon in Taurus, 6th house. And so sun in Pisces, moon in Taurus. Or sun is who you are, how you shine, how you present yourself to the world. Moon is what you receive and what you need deeply to be okay and make your machine function. And your rising is your avatar, is how people see you and how you appear to the world. And that is in Scorpio. So you might be wearing the mask or the costume of the of the wizard alchemist of Merlin that keeps certain secrets. You're like the wizard. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's your mask. It's like you can uncover and see through everybody, but people not necessarily can see through you. They will see somebody that's always observing, but very spiritual too. You have, wow, Neptune in the first house, like me, so you're very, very in tune with spirit. You're one of those people who can channel. I mean, oh my god, talk about channeling. You have elements there that you could be a perfect channel. Neptune 12th house, like me as well. You could totally be into astrology. You could, so you're kind of a person that could tap into the unseen and download that information and deliver it through your communication and networking, because you have Mercury in the third house with the Sun and Mars. So what you're doing here, creating networks of people and communicating, this is like bang on brand.
Wow.
Now is gonna be like boom, and the energy you're learning in this lifetime is the energy of Libra. That's your North Node. It's to, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Your North Node, where you're going to truly get a satisfaction and a self-realization, is when you see humanity in balance and harmony, because that's your North Node, is to learn the energy of how we all can together create and co-create harmony. So the more you enter that energy and help people build bridges, you have Libra, but in the 11th house of the human family. So it's learning the balance. So you are embodying and learning that energy. So you are all about creating those bonds and harmony with everybody. And the more you do that, the more fulfilled you will be. What you're leaving behind in this lifetime is your selfish, self-centered, I want to do this and have just fun for myself. And, me, myself, and I, ta-da. You're more like becoming the blended, like, instead of being center stage, you're giving the stage to others. And guess what? You're already doing it. It's beautiful. So you're
Wow. That is that a lot of people are nodding their heads right now. That center stage, look at me, myself, and I. This was a story for many, 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 many moons. And it is shifting. I feel it shifting.
because you came already into what's called your Uranus opposition. When we come to the midlife crisis, everybody kind of gets that midlife crisis at around age 41, 40 to 42. Why? Because there's a lot of planets that in that moment converge. There's a Pluto transit, you have an Uranus transit, and you have a Neptune transit and a Saturn transit. So it's like your soul, when you're like age 40 to 42, your soul says, it's time for your calling. If you're not on the path, we're going to put you on the path, whether it's through the nice way or the not nice way. So if you're already aligned with your path and oh, my North Node, that's the path, it's in Libra, it's the 11th house, I should be working with being less self-centered, center stage to create balance and harmony for others and for all. Wow. Then if I know that that's what I should be doing and I can use my voice and my skills to do that, then I should be doing that. If you knew that from before, you would go, why not align with that right now? Otherwise, life just shoves you into the path. And you're like, oh, I got shoved in here, but I thought I was going to be this other thing, right? And so this is why it's very important to take into consideration, like, if when you know these things from birth, you can already align yourself and go, okay, I know the path. I'm going to be the one walking the path, and I'm going to choose how. And for example, you would choose, whether you were conscious of it or not, when you had that midlife crisis or Uranus opposition and things started changing and shifting for you, probably in the last year, when you had your, then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm aligned with my path and I chose to do it this way. It could have expressed itself in a different way. It could have been a very different path or avenue, but you're expressing already, like, by being this spiritual warrior, like I told you, this spiritual, compassionate being that's bringing spirituality to the forth by using, using your skills as a communicator. You have like, oh my God, can you talk like awesomely? And all these planets. You have, oh my gosh, Mercury in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. You're such a dedicated to the human family. And there's a reason why you came with this blueprint, because there is a true dedication to your, to this human family, to helping this shift. So there you go. I mean, we can go deeper into your chart later.
Yes.
David, go more onto what you can do for this month. I would definitely not hear, I would have to see transits. It gets complicated and we'll be here until like midnight looking at your transits, but know that your life, you're bang on your life path. So whatever you're doing, even your North Node is very much aligned with, you know, it's pushing you to go in this direction. Keep going. What you're doing is like bang on. So this month, remember, not the time to try and push it too much, like let's market the hell out of this. Like, no, this is the month to review. Mercury is going to go retrograde, so there will be a time in October to review again, from October and November, to see how you're doing things for you. Like, how did I set up my channel? How did I set up this? Is this the right structure? Oh, is this really working? Or maybe these things are not working so well for what you're doing. So is this the time to tweak? And once you have that more like settled, dude, come January, like bring it on. You know? And I'm sure this channel is going to go kaboom.
Wow.
Because it needs to reach the far and wide. So you see, I gave you a very basic astrology. Did I hit something in the head?
You hit a lot in the head. At the very beginning, a bit about security and stillness, and there was a bit at the beginning. I'm gonna watch this back, and then I'd love to do a reading with you. I'd love to do a full thing. So let's book that right away. I want to get in on this. But there was some stuff there that I thought, on the surface, you know, I've been battling with this self-loathing bit. I've been beating myself with a stick for my past, and I have this should mentality. I should have this, I should have that, and I got called out on it on a podcast last week, and I've really sat with it, and I want to work on this self-forgiveness bit from and you said something in there that felt like it was real to me inside my soul, but I feel like the image of who I showed up in the world as, other people would see that and believe it's not true, but I believe deep inside it is. So I have some remapping and some forgiveness and some self-love work to do.
You can definitely look into that and see where that falls in your chart, to see, because this is a beauty of doing like archetypal astrology or things like that. It's using astrology to find where that is, what area and where it came from, so we can start digging. Why?
Yeah.
Again, astrology is just a tool to dig. And then you dig, and there's many ways to dig. You can do it through hypnosis, psychotherapy. Like, there's a lot of stuff. However, I do believe that when you dig consciously and not like just sort of like, oh, I'm going to do hypnosis and that's going to go away. When you do it consciously, there's like a participation in that. So when you start understanding, oh, this came from this, oh my gosh, yeah, my parents, or this or that, could be past lives. And you start uncovering that, your subconscious slowly begins to bring that to the front. Like the modalities I'm working on with the movement and stuff, for instance, are linked to the astrology as well. So I can help people and say, hey, well, we're going to look into this. How can you do the work by writing, moving, visualizing, and your subconscious will slowly bring that to the front. The reason being to not shock the system. You want to do it gently. Healing should not be, again, healing. Balancing the energy and coming into wholeness should not be a shocking thing. It should be done with a lot of compassion. It's a process. It's not done overnight. So anybody that says or claims, oh, overnight you'll be like, ding, well, I would just question it. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I would question it, because it is a process. There's a lot of things we carry. So on the surface, you might feel like, oh my God, I shifted like overnight. But deep inside, did you really,
Yeah.
things would show up again and you're like, oh, I actually didn't change. So the shifts really occur slowly in order not to overwhelm the system. The psyche is very delicate. I mean, there's so much there. So when you slowly start peeling the onion and doing this work, then you do it gently. That's an approach. There's other approaches. There could be like shock approaches, or but my approach is like, just do it gently, gently and smoothly until your psyche integrates things little by little. So we see it in the astrology, then you go into it and work through it by using different methods of going into it. The way I do it with the movement is I do my movement meditation. I pulled out all this material within. This is what I've been doing for a while. And according to what chakra I'm working on, I'll pull in the material from that I want to liberate, and then balance it. That's what I do. So
Okay.
work. You have to do it like it's a process, and it's something you choose to do or not.
I'm very open. And for our listeners, do you mind letting them know how to get in touch with you? Are you open to?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let them know how they can get in touch with you if anyone else wants the same sort of, is it a reading? Is that what you would call it? Or what would you call it specifically?
If you want just a reading to just understand your basic blueprint, yeah, that's a reading, and I can give you a reading. Also, every year there's solar returns, so you can read every year what the focus is going to be for you that year and how to better leverage the energy. And then you can read the transits, so if things are moving, how to better use the energy almost like on your daily life. There's a lot of different types of readings, but the basic reading would be the natal chart, and I enjoy very much reading that because it's where you see the soul's potentials, the soul blueprint, the soul's direction. And then I can give guidance there. If people want like a more in-depth thing, then we can start working with those things, like you say, where are the wounds? Where are the things that need to be transformed? That's a deeper work that must be done through processing. And that process can have, again, my tools are movement, visuals, and like visualization, guided meditations that I also create for you. For instance, if I see something that you can work, create a specific meditation tailored to you so that you go and do it and work on your own issue, right? So things like that. Using certain movement types. I have many tools, but the entry point is like when I see the birth chart, that's when I go like, oh, and that's for people who want to work deeply. People that just want an understanding, I just can do a reading, and that's fine, that's perfect. And then if people just want to get about like a tool to keep their energy in balance without doing a very deep thing that needs to go there to the shadows, but that you want to kind of begin to move the energy, then I have these tools that I'm working with through Chroma Movement, which is what I'm devising. It's not yet fully ready, like I was telling you, I'm still working on it fully. So you can only deliver the medicine that you have taken yourself. No, so I'm taking my own medicine to see how it has shifted me, and there's amazing shift. So but that's coming, and that's the tool I'll be using. So yes, everything's kind of like, again, right now I'm putting my ducks in a line. So you can already, for the viewers, if you want to get in touch with me for something like a reading, something like you need some guidance, I'm available. And later on, if you want to join what I'm going to be doing, sharing this gift of a balancing tool for your energy, then I'm going to devise this whole thing on Chroma Movement. Is movement, visuals, and sound, and that's coming. So, but if you stay tuned and in touch with me, you'll know when that's ready, and it will happen when it's the right timing. So to get in touch with me, you can follow me on, so I do have the Chroma Movement on Instagram and Facebook. However, like I said, it's not yet the thing, but you can follow me there, and my website, chromamovement.com. Chroma as in color, chroma, 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 movement as in movement, because it's the movement of the colors, it's basically like, that's what it means. And it's a movement, like, like a global movement of raising the energy. That's what it means, Chroma Movement. So chromamovement.com, Chroma Movement on Facebook, Chroma Movement on Instagram. That's developing. Right now also I have a channel that and again, Facebook group, Facebook page, and YouTube channel, Tatiana's Spiritual Toolbox. That's easy. And that's where I put all my spiritual content. I upload videos with insights and I just give more information, and I just post information. And I host certain events here in Victoria. I host heart circles, host guided meditations, ceremonies, sound and drumming, like a lot of different things. So if you're part of that Tatiana Spiritual Toolbox, I usually post there the events. That's the other way to reach me. And for those specifically interested in astrology, like just the astrology, I do have a group called Astrology Victoria on Facebook, and Meetup, Astrology Victoria on Meetup. So that's for the astrology people, like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about astrology. We post things there. I have this group with another lady, Dulcie, who's amazing. And we're starting to build this community. And that's for people who want to know more specifically about astrology. We have chats, we have gatherings, we have different things. We have speakers that come and speak on Zoom or in person, you know, pre-COVID and post-COVID. You know, that's a thing. Is COVID a thing? Okay. And so that's the astrology. So that's another way of finding me. And last but not least, I have many, like I'm telling you all the ways you can find me, because right now I'm getting my things. You can also find me at my artist portfolio website where I put everything, which is TATIANAHASSAN.com. So it's my name.com. That's my portfolio website. You can see all that I've done, you know, my artwork. I do have awesome merch as well, like with art and mandalas, and you know, I'm an artist as well. So
yeah. Tatiana, thank you for this. This was incredibly insightful. It was entertaining. I feel lighter. I feel more focused. I feel ready. I feel like I learned a ton. I trust that the viewers and the listeners learned a little bit themselves. Hard to believe this was your first ever podcast as a guest. You did amazing. I see a host in the future. Ooh. And you truly are a divine light being. So thank you so much. This was incredible.
Thank you, Brent, for your invitation. This is priceless. This is beautiful, because I do believe that this information needs to be out there. Embrace the path of your best version. I would say to everyone that's viewing this, like, you are your best version right now. Just embrace it. And
thank you.
I love you all. Whoever is viewing, oh my gosh, my heart goes to you. And Brent, what a blessing to have met you. So yeah.
I feel the same.
So with this, I think we're gonna just say goodbye.
Goodbye, Tatiana. This was episode 9 of Chakras and Shit. You can download all episodes on chakrasandshit.com, and YouTube channel is Chakras with an S, and then there's an apostrophe under the I. I am Brent Raymond, the Playful Paladin, and I am looking forward to my reading. I am going to book with you as soon as we hit record. Thank you, Tatiana. This is amazing.